Good afternoon, my Miss Gloria and my fellow classmates. Today, I will be explaining about the introduction, literature review, and the methodology of our topic, which is the overall society's perceptions on long-term impacts of cannabis on drug-reliant users after frequent consumption. So for first and foremost, the research problem is to highlight the impacts of cannabis in the long term on frequent cannabis users who consume the aforementioned drug. Besides that, I also aim to identify and emphasize the adverse effects of cannabis on its users. So the research questions are, what are the society's point of view on the effects of cannabis on drug-reliant users, mindsets, and mental behavior? And also, what are the society's perception on relationship between cannabis and mental physiology of offset and rebellious teens? So for the literature review, in the United States, cannabis, which hails from the plant Cannabis sativa, its use has increased from 4% to 9% between the time intervals of 2001 to 2002 and 2012 to 2013. Moreover, a similar survey in Canada also showed more proof that there was indeed an increasing use of cannabis among youth. Subsequently, for frequent drug users, they would regularly rely on cannabis, which to a certain extent can be very concerning. This also ties into the data, as 9% are estimated to develop an addiction pertaining to it, although early stages has not been linked to corresponding use and the development of cannabis dependency and problems. So for the methodology, the survey for the research paper consisted a total of 12 questions. The survey form, which was done through Google Forms, contains a dual mixture of both closed and open-ended questions. A series of questions that were asked in the form involved some personal information and what are their thoughts and knowledge on cannabis itself, and whether they think that cannabis is beneficial or a disadvantage to these users. In addition, the survey form itself was distributed via multiple social media platforms such as WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook. So for the participants, a total of 51 participants contributed to the results and findings in this report. Each and every survey response from all of the participants were included in the results evaluation, as can be seen in the screenshots below, for the age demographic and the gender. Right now, I would like to pass the time to my partner, Jonathan, who will be explaining further about the findings and discussion.
Okay, thank you, Gavin. So for the findings and discussions in our survey questions, we have asked a couple of questions. And for the first question we asked is, what are your opinions on cannabis? Most people, their opinions were that it is illegal and bad for their health. Some has no opinion, and some things that it can be used as a benefit in the medical field. So for the next question, we asked, what do you think cannabis should be legalized in Malaysia? If yes, no, please explain why. Most people have said no, because they think that it is dangerous and it can make people addicted to the drug itself, and it can be very harmful towards the human body. For some people, they think, yes, it has very good medical reasons, like for treating Parkinson's, and can help with stress and anxiety as well. For the next question, we asked, what do you think the effects of cannabis if consumed? And 54% have said the feeling of euphoria. 29% have said of having heightened senses. 31% on increasing their appetite and improving their mood, and 39% do not know what the effects of cannabis are. For the next question, we asked, why do you think cannabis is consumed? And most people say that it is for recreational purposes, as an addiction, and some things it's for medical reasons, like I said earlier, like Parkinson's, or to relieve pain or stress or anxiety. What are the long-term impacts of cannabis if there is an overconsumption? And people said addiction, depression, and cause heavy damage to the human body, and as bad as even death. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So for society's impression for the link between cannabis and the mental physiology of rebellious teens, the image of cannabis is moved towards the negative and drawbacks. Because of many years, society has viewed cannabis to be very dangerous. The primary goal of taking cannabis would have long-term consequences for the users who can only see the drugs as a positive aspect in their lives. For the limitation, the study is not entirely accurate due to the fact that the survey was conducted with university students age ranging from 17 to 21, and of whom were in the same university. So the study can't predict the entire outcome of society's perceptions on cannabis. Next slide, please. This study can be used for future study on cannabis. It can help set a starting point. It can prove useful for the benefits of cannabis, while the negative should be taken in account. After reviewing the analyzed results, it shows that in the current research work, consumers will be able to limit their intake on cannabis. So this is our presentation. Thank you for listening.